Before beginning your bank reconciliation, it can pay just to have a quick look to see whether a quick fix can solve the problem before you actually start having to check a whole pile of transactions. We know that the balance per the accounts is $15,476.49. We know that the balance per the bank statements is $19,085.43. So we have an imbalance of $3,608.94. The issue is whether that imbalance is a number that has some significance or means something. And there are a couple of quick things you can do to check whether that's the case. And what we'll do now is just quickly show you how sometimes looking at that number and seeing whether it fits into any of the entries may actually help you find the error without actually having to go through the whole process of checking off bank statements. We know our bank balance is out by $3,608.94. The quick fix solution is pretty much an exercise of just trying to get lucky. It's possible this error is going to be a single item and it might be easy to spot, or a combination of maybe just one or two items, and that also may be easy to spot. Now the first thing to do is note which way the error is going. We have more money in the bank statement than we do in the accounting file. That's telling us that we have either not enough deposits in the accounting file or too much in the way of expenses in the accounting file. The first thing to do is look at the bank statements. On the deposit side, you just might get lucky. You open your bank statements and you find that that deposit is showing in your bank statement, 3608.94, but it is missing from your accounting file. Now, unfortunately, that is not the case for us, but as I mentioned, you can get lucky, and by quickly having a look, you see where it is. The second thing is notice the cents side of things. 94 cents is actually useful because when you have cents, you can sometimes look at a transaction and just look at the cents and it might tell you something. For example, if one of these entries on the deposit side had 94 cents attached to it, even if that amount isn't what you're looking for, because remember the error may not be one entry, there might be a connection. It's possible. Now in the case of an expense, it's not going to be 94 cents, is it? Because an expense reduces what you have. So on the expense side, you'd be looking for something that has 6 cents at the end of it. And again, that might be an entry that's of interest. And just to explain that point, if an entry like $120, as we have here as a withdrawal, had 6 cents applied to it, in other words, the reality in the accounts was that was $120.06. If you think about it, then the amount you're going to show in your accounting file as opposed to the bank is going to be 6 cents less. So your bank balance, instead of saying $100 in your accounting file, will say $99.94, which is the cents you have at the end of the error in your bank rec. Now, these techniques are only useful if they're used quickly to see if you can get a snappy result. All you're really doing is seeing, in terms of looking at the bank statements, is there anything like that? And then you just quickly check that entry. So, for example, if this $120 we have here had 6 cents on the end, it might be worth just a quick check to see whether in the accounts that $120 has 6 cents on the end or not. It can help. It's only an initial check. Likewise, when you go to your accounting file and you're not using the bank statements, so you can go into and look at your bank. In MOV, you select the account, go to your check account, open it up for the period that you're interested in our case from the 1st of July to the 30th of September, and now review the accounting information with the same principles in mind. Bearing in mind though, the issues now are slightly different. Remember, we've got too much money in the bank compared to what our file's saying. If we're looking for 3608.94, it's possible one of the expense entries just happens to be there on its own, in which case you can find that specific entry. And what you basically do is apply the same principles to see whether in fact you can get lucky and find the errors without going through the process of reconciling the entire bank.